Today we are talking about another one of the Absolute Carnage tie-in comics from Marvel that came out recently. This one, Absolute Carnage Separation Anxiety, and it might be the most horrific Marvel comic that I've ever read. So thank you for that, Clay McLeod Chapman, and that's the writer and artist Brian Level. Bit of an accomplishment. You know, the only other comic that I can think of from Marvel that actually disturbed me this much, I have to go back to 1996 for this one. It reminds me a bit of the one-shot Carnage Mind Bomb, which is by Warren Ellis, wrote that, and Kyle Hotz did the art. So if you know those guys, you know what they're capable of. But Clay McLeod and Brian Level are contending for the title now. Most horrific or most disturbing Marvel comic. Not much of a surprise. I would think that they both involve some symbiotes. In the new Separation comic, though, it's not a Carnage-centric comic. That character's not in here. And neither is one of the 5 Life Foundation Symbiotes Scream, but the other 4 are in there. I have to look at my notes for this. What are the names again? Riot, Phage, Agony, and Lasher, who I believe originally appeared in the Venom Lethal Protector miniseries, and then also appeared in a Separation Anxiety one-shot back in the 90s. And most recently, we're all trapped inside of a dog in the DEADPOOL versus Carnage crossover. And that's actually where this new Separation Anxiety one-shot picks up. They're still in the dog, and they meet a little girl on the porch, and then things just go sideways. It's, you know, imagine your worst nightmare. It gets worse than that. It's kind of nuts what Marvel will allow in a comic that is ostensibly for, I don't know, 8, 9-year-olds. Although they no longer use, you know, Marvel no longer uses the Comics Code Authority as a stamp of safety and fitness for young children to read these comics. But that reminds me, going back to that Carnage Mind Bomb one-shot from February 96, if you look at the cover of that, it's bizarre. I don't know who let this through, who is actually the Comics Code. I know a little bit, you know, the Comics Code was just employees of Marvel and DC, you know, the companies actually putting out the comics. So if they want to let it through, if they want to say it's fit for kids, that's fine. But you look at that Carnage comic, Carnage Mind Bomb, it's got the Comics Code seal of approval on there. It's totally appropriate, although if you go back to that one, it's dark, it's sick, and if you want to buy a back issue now, it's going to cost you over $100. I had no idea. I was working in a comic book store at the time, so I was just reading it behind the counter. And if I had known that in, 20 years, if I had known what an investment it was going to be, I probably would have bought all the copies off the shelf. But as it was, I read it, was a little horrified, a little disturbed, and then just put it back. And this new one, Separation Anxiety, I've got a copy. I almost wish I didn't have a copy, though. It's really too dark for me, but what can I say? I do like drawing the symbiotes. So again, that is my art today. I'm doing my version here of Riot, one of the Life Foundation symbiotes. As usual, I'm starting my art with a mechanical pencil sketch and then going over it with Copic markers, as well as some Micron archival ink pens. Pretty cheap, pick those up at Hobby Lobby. Art's not an expensive hobby, which is something I appreciate about it. You know, it doesn't cost much to become an artist, but it does cost a lot of time and practice. So to review a bit, for the sake of it, the new Separation Anxiety one-shot, you have been warned, spoilers ahead for this one. Like I said, it starts with the dog containing all the Life Foundation symbiotes walking up to this small girl on the porch of her house as her family, her parents are inside fighting. And she brings the dog in. Like I said, things go sideways. The symbiotes get out of the dog and get into the family, take them over. Really kind of horrific. And then, you know, what I will say is really good about this issue is Brian Level's art has some really creative and unique layouts on every page. So check it out if you're in the mood for some new art, some creative art. One of the more creative attempts at layouts that I've seen in a Marvel comic in a while. So really good work on that. And the terrible thing is, you know, the symbiotes say, you know, you didn't want your family to ever be apart, and now they never will be. but they've been taken over by these alien parasites, and the issue ends with them on their way to New York to join in the Absolute Carnage crossover proper. Now, I don't have yet, I don't know if I'm going to pick it up, but there is another one-shot that focuses on the remaining, the 5th Life Foundation symbiote, and that is Scream. So you get those two, figure out how we get all 5 of those symbiotes into the crossover proper, and then who knows what's going to happen next. But my guess, fights. It's going to be a lot of fights, a lot of action between the symbiotes, and probably, could it be Spider-Man? In all likelihood, yes. But if you're into that, let me know in the comments. Do you like the symbiotes? Maybe you're just into Venom. Maybe you're just into Carnage. Maybe, for some reason, Riot is your favorite. Maybe you saw the Venom movie and you thought, Riot's bigger, he's more powerful. I like him. That's my favorite symbiote. But let me know in the comments below. Do you like these characters? Which of them do you like? Why do you like them? And of course, if you like the video, as always, what do I say? Smash that like button. If you're not subscribed yet, why not? Subscribe, tap the bell for notifications, and if you're an artist, what do I always say about that? You got to keep drawing if you want to get better. So if you're an artist yourself, keep drawing, improve every day. Sometimes it's more gradual than other times. Sometimes you feel like you hit a plateau of improvement, but trust me, you just got to keep drawing. There's no way to get better except for to keep drawing. So until next time, keep drawing.